Right now I'm bicycling down Blood Lane, perpendicular to Grantsdale Road. There's Mount Downing in the distance. New housing developments. Well, some of those are, the development is old, but I think some of those houses are new. Some things have changed in the past couple of years. And so we're just a half mile down until we meet Highway 93. No trespassing, MRL. MRL is the Montana Rail Link. And these are the Montana Rail Link tracks, the spur line that comes south from Missoula through Hamilton and continues in that direction to Darby, and it ends in Darby. We might see that someday. So these were originally Northern Pacific tracks. Then eventually they became, Montana Rail Link was a subsidiary of BNSF, Burlington Northern Santa Fe. And these are currently inactive, and I don't know what inactive means. I know there's not regular rail traffic here. But in the past, I do remember there at least being test trains or something 10 years ago. And now I think that it is pretty much out of use, but as you can see, as opposed to some train tracks we've seen, like in Turrialba where they were torn up, these still look to be in good enough repair that probably if they wanted to run trains here, they could. But for now, I don't think that's happening. So right here, we actually have a clear bike path. This bike path actually only goes a couple miles in this direction southward. Then you have to ride along the shoulder of 93. But in the other direction, it actually does go all the way to Missoula, Montana. And in a couple of cities, like in Hamilton itself, it like becomes a sidewalk or whatever. But the bike path pretty much does go for 40 miles. I have ridden most of it, but it was not complete to Missoula when I did that. Someday I might ride it to Missoula, but for now, much shorter trip. So here we are at the Skalkaho again. Half a mile down from the Grantsdale Road, and probably about a half a mile or so to the Bitterroot River. And along here, we have more of the path, I guess is the best way to put it. Right here, we have some flashing yellow yield lights. There used to be nothing here. This is the exit onto the Skalkaho Highway. Used to be a very dangerous turn. Still is. Hopefully a little bit less though. We're almost to the river. So there's Engler's Roost. River X. There's massive just neighborhood. You go down there, and as you can see, I wouldn't want to get in the way of all the cars. Well, then that's okay. I'll just go over here. Wouldn't patronize them anymore. So that works fully for everybody. So here is the Bitterroot River. 93, just like I was talking about, the Skalkaho Highway crosses Skalkaho Creek. The Bitterroot River crosses 93 several times. I forget when the next time is that direction. And then it splits in two. It's a busy river. Right there we have the railroad bridge for the MRL line. And the water is pretty high. In the past I would walk up here and walk along the riverbank, but I can't do that today. And there is Ward Mountain. And on another day, right ahead there is a turn and you can climb up to the trailhead, but today I'm just going to turn around and go that way. Not the world's most exciting ride, but I just wanted to show more of the bicycling around here. And this time I'll actually probably go back on the Skalkaho turn. This is Grantsdale Cutoff Road. We'll get to see Grantsdale. My original plan today, or something I was kind of thinking of, is that since yesterday I tested my bike and went up to the Skalkaho Rest Wayside, about 4 miles up the road. I was going to go further up Skalkaho today, but I'm still getting my bicycle legs, so I'll save that for another day. We have a lot of time here. We do have a dispensary here, as far as I understand it, cannabis is fully legal, medical and recreational in Montana. Not quite as prevalent as in Corvallis, but there are some dispensaries around. So Grantsdale does have a community church, and across the street, real briefly, because it's now private, there used to be what's called a community post office, which is where basically somebody runs a post office out of their property. That's kind of what made Grantsdale an official area instead of just a cluster of homes. But now there's not much here, it's just a cluster of homes. At one point, I believe Grantsdale was a real town, and it was in competition with Hamilton, and now it's just an area. I think that Grantsdale also might have been in a slightly different place, so it's kind of like we have a Ship of Theseus problem here. So here's Grantsdale cut off on Grantsdale Road. This intersection, this cluster of homes, is what's the heart of Grantsdale now. There is a school, which used to be a public school, but now I think is a private or religious school somewhere down that direction. And then if you keep on going, you can see Scalcahoe. But I'm going to turn back this way, back towards Hamilton and back towards my home. And there's also a community club. I don't know how active that is. We also have a second dispensary. So Grantsdale has all the basics: 2 dispensaries, a church, a community club, a religious school, and a closed down post office. I don't know if there's laws about where dispensaries can be, and that's why they're all clustered here, or if it's just that people in Grantsdale really like getting baked. I'll leave that mystery for later. And I said, one thing I miss about Costa Rica is like having a mini super. On the other hand, that's something you can't get in Costa Rica. You can get CBD, but not THC. Bicycling back up Lincoln Lane to my house. And that was just a ride around the neighborhood, more or less. Places that used to be neighbors. And there will be more of that, far and wide. First couple days, like I said, just getting my legs, and it will get more interesting soon.